This next piece is from Nyack from Holland, who was on our show recently with Yolanda. And he sent me a report of what's going on in Africa. So I thought you'd like to all take note of that and where progress is actually being made. And it is being made. And they're having quite an effect. And it's great to hear. The world needs far more African input than what it is portrayed as. They have much to offer, same as every other culture, and not just stolen off either by psychopathic families yet again. Regarding the continent of Africa, it is strangely weird to notice that recent excessive rains in East Africa, the intense drought in South Africa and also Southern Africa, and the continuing attacks by terrorist groups in Western Africa. Yeah, that's the mercenary clans. All to discourage people to take the next step to stand up as humans, being in a new world. Africa is today a continent with extreme opposites. There is so much happening in Africa for the good and the bad that it's impossible to cover this all just by me. So please forgive me that I give some observations based on my recent trips to Ghana and also Mali. When we zoom into West Africa, especially in Mali and Burkina Faso, an increasingly number of common people and decision makers worry how it is possible that a modern army of France and the UN are fighting each against the terrorists, but are unable to make any progress whilst they have a budget of over $1 billion per year. So France and the UN are allegedly fighting terrorists. No, it's part of the same structure again. And a way to funnel funds into that area for nefarious purposes against the people. That's what it's all about. That's all the UN's interested in. They're not peacekeepers. They don't look after children. They don't look after anyone but their back pockets. And I hope the people of Africa start to realise that on a wider scale and throw them out the country. And the IMF and Citibank also. Certain areas are abandoned by specific groups because they do not feel safe anymore. Bridges on various roads are blown up by these extremist groups to fight their war against governmental armies, and placed improvised bombs to attack military convoys as well as civilians and transporters. It's the boogeyman and saviour again, Nyack. That's all it is. There's no fighting, just killing people. Even cars from neutral parties such as NGOs are now being hijacked, and people wonder how this all goes so fast in the negative spiral, while they observe that mind control is being used and that trafficking of human body parts is taking place on a large scale. By murdering people seemingly at random because they belong to a specific ethnic or socio-economic group, it doesn't make any sense anymore to most people. So the Africans are starting to see through the illusion also. Good to hear. On the other hand, I see progress towards taking more responsibility. For instance, in Ghana, the government has taken actions to clean the banking sector by closing some banks and a large number of microcredit suppliers. Well, I never. In a radio show, one of the main ministers was being questioned why the roads in the Cacao region remain in such a bad shape and why the report on this has not yet been made public. On the internet, there was discussion on the news that the capital city of Ghana, Accra, will get a new sophisticated transport system by questioning if the water supply to all citizens should not be of a higher priority. These examples prove that the people are not anymore accepting the old way of governance. Good stuff. Another interesting phenomenon is the quest for more healthy food in Nigeria. People are increasingly eating healthy organic food, accepting that they have to order bio chicken a few weeks ahead, and small local companies are picking up organic agriculture in many countries now. In Madagascar, even a law that supports and regulates organic agriculture has recently been adopted. These are signs of an awakening population that want to make a change themselves. Key point. At the scale where they can make the difference. However, a lot still has to be done. In my field of work, I come across a lot of people that are so used to project proposal writing that they've forgotten that some things can be done for free, such as working together to build trust, give a compliment to each other when things are well done, provide feedback and give advice when things are not how it was planned. Stop waiting for a donor, a NGO or a foreigner to rescue you. A couple of years ago in Burundi, we introduced the principle of vision building at household level, the husband, wife and children together. What do we want and how can we pursue that goal or goals? What do we need to get success? It goes beyond the scope of this piece to provide all the details, but was a start with a number of families in the village that started working together at the level of the village. You see, that's why the THI groups were created. It's the same thing. Working together. People don't work together. They compete. And so by setting up those groups and learning to work together again, to then build trust between the people within the group, complement each other instead of competing against each other, provide feedback, learn to communicate again from a level of not comparative. You have no idea how much that particular word, comparative and competitive, plays in your everyday life. It's a program. So you're frightened of saying something in case you get it wrong. Well, we all get shit wrong. Getting over that fear that, oh, I'm just little me, that limitation program again. None of that costs any money. And if you can build a trust and a family within a family, and everyone's trusting each other, and everyone's on the same level, and everyone has stopped competing against each other, you can build a movement for anything. So I'm pleased to hear that that's going on in Africa. Now, the result of this, NAAC said, in a better life without major financial investments, the key, and internal motivation to realise your vision. In Mali, I see the same, where municipalities are now putting their hands together around an integrated and sustainable development plan that they elaborated with some assistance. Of course, it's not easy coming from an attitude, my municipality first. That's the competitive, comparative mindset, which we all have to a degree, into what is best for all of us. And this takes time, and a certain word that some of our members struggle with, patience, and building capacity and increase interpersonal skills towards pursuing their goals. This way of thinking and working together towards a common future is, in my opinion, a big step, and the model used can easily be replicated elsewhere. Exactly. It's not rocket science. And I'm so pleased the likes of Niak and his people over in Africa are implementing this, and the people are working with it. Because you can come up with many plans as you like, and ideas and goals, but if the people are going to start fighting over every petty little thing within it, it's never going to go anywhere. You have to embrace it. You want freedom, you have to embrace it. Final sentence from Niak. Small steps towards development should also be celebrated, as this provides the energy to take the next step. And he said, I would like to close this part of information sharing with a very inspiring proverb from Burundi. And I'll try and pronounce it. Akababaya Mutima Kazindora Amaguru. Translated into English, when the heart is touched by the cause, the legs will stand up early in the morning to pursue that goal. Good stuff.